Africa, a continent often misunderstood when it comes to education. Most of the global narratives paint a bleak picture. But is that the whole truth? Today, we pull back the curtain because buried beneath the statistics and the headlines are countries making quiet revolutions in classrooms. This is not just about rankings, it's about vision, leadership, innovation, and the future of over 1.4 billion people. So let's dive deep into the top 3 countries with the best education systems in Africa. And trust me, by the end, you will see Africa very differently. Chapter 1. Mauritius, the island of excellence. Let's begin on an island nation in the Indian Ocean, Mauritius. Now, Mauritius may be small, but when it comes to education, it punches way above its weight. Number 1. Historical legacy of learning. Mauritius inherited much of its educational framework from the British colonial era. But post-independence in 1968, it didn't just adopt the system, it transformed it. Leaders saw education as key to lifting the nation out of poverty. They didn't just want literate citizens, they wanted thinkers, innovators, builders of a new nation. Number 2. Free education, a national priority. Since 1976, Mauritius has provided free education from primary school all the way through university. This wasn't a cosmetic policy. It was part of a national strategy to empower its people. The result? A literacy rate of over 90%, one of the highest in Africa. Education is seen as a right, not a luxury. 3. Bilingual brilliance. In Mauritius, both English and French are mediums of instructions. This gives students a huge advantage globally. On top of that, Creole Mauritian, the local language, is being integrated into curricula, allowing students to learn in a language that speaks to their identity. 4. Embracing innovation. Digital classrooms. Mauritius was among the first in Africa to fully embrace e-learning, from providing tablets to students to digitizing content in public schools. It has kept pace with global trends. The Ministry of Education has even introduced a national e-learning strategy, aiming to make every student digital literate by secondary school graduation. 5. Tertiary education and international partnership. The University of Mauritius stands out as a center of academic excellence. The country's strategic partnerships with institutions in France, India, the UK, and Australia allow students to receive international recognized qualifications without ever leaving the island. 6. Technical and vocational focus. Mauritius also recognized early that not every child fits into the university mold. It has a growing sector of technical and vocational education, offering skills in hospitality, engineering, information tech, and more vital for the economy. One of the most impressive things about Mauritius is how seriously they take education as an investment, not just a policy. Here, education is not a privilege, it's a passport to dignity and progress. They understood that being a small island with no natural resources meant that the true wealth lay in the minds of their people. Chapter 2. Tunisia, the silent powerhouse. Now let's move north to Tunisia, a country that doesn't always make the headlines, but when it comes to education, is quietly leading the charge. 1. A revolution rooted in education. After Tunisia gained independence in 1956, its first president, Habib Bourguiba, understood the role education would play in shaping a modern state. His administration abolished religious schools that didn't promote modern curricula and introduced secular, state-run education that included science, mathematics, and philosophy. 2. Education for all, especially girls. One of Tunisia's proudest achievements is its gender parity in schools. Girls and boys attend school at nearly equal rate. Women make up more than 60% of university students, a statistics that places Tunisia ahead of many Western countries. 3. High government spending on education. Tunisia spends nearly 7% of its GPD on education, a figure that places it among the highest spenders in Africa. This money goes toward teacher training, curriculum development, free textbooks, transportation, and building modern infrastructure even in rural areas. 4. A compulsory system with depth. Children must attend school from ages 6 to 16. The curriculum is broad, from science and math to history, art, and civic education. There is a conscious push toward creating critical thinkers, not just passive learners. 5. A legacy of world-class universities. Let's talk history. The University of Zitouna is one of the oldest in the world, dating back to the 8th century. But Tunisia didn't stop at the heritage. It built modern universities that are now producing scientists, doctors, lawyers, and tech entrepreneurs. 6. Embracing digital futures. Tunisia was one of the first African countries to integrate computers into schools in the early 2000s. Today, coding is taught in some primary schools. E-learning platforms are being developed and adopted across the country, a move accelerated by COVID-19. 7. Linking education to the job market. Tunisia's challenge has been unemployment among graduates, but the country has responded with reform. It's introducing entrepreneurship modules in universities, building links between employers and educators, and incentivizing students to pursue high-demand fields like renewable energy and biotech. When you meet Tunisian students, there's a spark, an ambition. It's no accident. It's the product of a system that tells young people you belong in the future, and that future begins in the classroom. Tunisia has shown the world that being an Arab African state doesn't mean you have to follow the script. You can write your own. Our final country is one of the paradoxes: South Africa, a nation with one of the most advanced economies on the continent and an education system full of complexity. 1. Post-apartheid reconstruction. After the fall of apartheid in 1994, South Africa faced the enormous task of rebuilding its education system. The Bantu education system had deliberately undereducated the black population. The new democratic government rewrote textbooks, trained thousands of new teachers, and passed policies ensuring education as a constitutional right. 2. A diverse and multilingual system. With 11 official languages, South Africa's education system reflects its diversity. Students are taught in their home languages in the early years, then transition to English or Afrikaans. This is both a strength and a challenge, requiring resources and teacher training on a massive scale. 3. Strength of universities. South Africa is home to the best universities on the continent. University of Cape Town, Stellenbosch, and Wits University consistently rank among the top in global indexes. These institutions are not only academic giants, they are research hubs, particularly in medicine, engineering, and the social sciences. 4. Bridging inequality. Despite world-class institutions, the gap between private and public education remains wide. Rural schools still suffer from underfunding and poor infrastructure. However, progress is happening. Programs like the National School Nutrition Program and the Accelerated Schools Infrastructure Delivery Initiative are providing access and equity. 5. Technical and vocational growth. South Africa is aggressively pushing TVET colleges, equipping youth with great skills. These colleges are now being funded to align closely with industry needs, from welding and plumbing to digital media and software development. 6. A leader in EdTech innovation. From Snaplify to Siavula, South Africa leads in African EdTech. These tools offer free digital textbooks, practice exams, and real-time feedback. During COVID-19, the shift to online learning was faster here than in many other African nations. 7. Government and private sector collaboration. The government's partnership with companies like Microsoft, Vodacom, and Google have created digital classrooms, teacher training hubs, and e-learning platforms. There is also a growing focus on AI, coding, and robotics education from as early as grade 4. South Africa is proof that transformation is messy but also powerful. Every step forward, every child who breaks a barrier is part of a much bigger story. Despite its contradictions, it is a country deeply committed to the idea that no child should be left behind, and that's something to admire. So what makes an education system truly great? Is it the test scores, the technology, the funding? Yes, but it's also the soul of a country. Its belief in what its people can become. Mauritius, Tunisia, South Africa, 3 very different countries with one common truth. They are building futures, one classroom at a time, and in that quiet revolution lies the hope of Africa. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you believe in Africa's potential. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.